Sometimes your biggest breakthrough doesn't come from a therapist, a relationship, or a huge life event. It comes from a book that just sits you down and checks in with you. And while, yes, there are books that you read for fun, there are also books that drag you, heal you, and then help you rebuild yourself from scratch. Welcome back to the It Girl Playbook. This is the episode where I share some of my book recommendations. I genuinely wouldn't be the person that I am today if it weren't for these books. They have quite literally changed my life, and I hope that I can share them with you today with the hopes that it can change yours also. Book number 1 is Why Men Love Bitches by Sherry Argov. This is a must-read for all the people pleasers and especially a must-read for all those who think that they can only receive love when they are people pleasers. I know the title of the book may sound a bit misleading, but this isn't about being rude or being mean. Everyone should be kind. This is about not being a doormat that gets walked all over. It's about not being overly nice or always available and how that actually makes people respect you more in relationships. In the making of this book, the author actually interviewed hundreds of men who agreed with the principle that she shares in the book that basically teaches you how to stop being a pushover when it comes to relationships. This book gave me the wake-up call that I needed to stop over-explaining, over-accommodating, and overextending myself just to be walked all over. It gave me permission to respect myself more, and funnily enough, the more that I did, the more others did as well. I now carry aspects of the principles in my daily life, not only in relationships, but in all aspects of life, which has dramatically changed my life, and I hope that it can help improve your relationships as well. Book number 2, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise. People always say to think positively, and it was always something that I was like, yeah, okay, be optimistic, love yourself, whatever, it's not that serious. But this book really showed me the significance of it by really talking about the consequences of how thinking poorly about yourself can manifest physically. You can literally make yourself sick from your thoughts alone. For example, for those of you who grew up having to predict everyone else's emotions just to feel safe and now can sense the moment someone's mood shift, how are your digestive issues? The book really helps connect the dots between your past and your present self. It helps you realize how many of your emotional patterns like self-doubt, guilt, and or shame are actually learned and how you can unlearn them to quite literally heal your life. This is the one book that really forced me to be mindful of how I think and speak about myself. They have the power to make you sick and make you ugly. Yes, I've never broke out more than when I was angry at the world and at everyone for my misery, and they have the power to make you prettier and heal you. Some of us are motivated by benefits and others to avoid the consequences, and I think this book does a really good job of doing both. Book number 3, Attached by Amir, Levine, and Rachel Heller. This book breaks down why you act the way that you do in relationships, like whether you get clingy, shut down, or feel safe, and how it usually goes back to your attachment style. It breaks down how it's developed in your childhood and how it carries over into your adult relationships. Even if you don't read this book, I encourage everyone to learn your attachment style to not only understand yourself, but also allow you to stop confusing anxiety for chemistry. It will help clarify so many unanswered questions you have when it comes to relationships and connecting with others, why you self-sabotage or push people away once things start getting good, or why you constantly need reassurance or otherwise you'll get very anxious. One thing that I particularly love about this book is that not only does this help you learn about yourself and your own attachment style, it also outlines the relationship dynamic of different attachment style and how they interact with each other. For example, avoidant with an anxious or an anxious with a secure. That way you can easily identify when you find yourself in an unhealthy dynamic. Book number 4, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I've always thought that in order to be charismatic and to have influence, you had to be interesting and required me to be charming, something that I was not born with or had. But this book taught me that you can make more friends in 2 weeks by being interested in other people than in 2 months trying to get other people interested in you. And from several stories that highlight the same principles, it literally taught me the art of being charismatic, the art of winning people and influencing people in something so simple but so profound that it really did change my life. Be genuinely interested in others and give genuine compliments. The book breaks down the psychology behind these two, and yes, it sounds so simple, but it has completely shifted the way that I interact with people, and as a result has dramatically improved the way that I build connections. There is a reason why this book was released in I think 1936, and it is still a bestseller to this day. Book number 5 is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. We care about the wrong things and we care about them too much. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders and everyone is watching you, this book will help you realize that you don't have to care about everything. This book really helps me realize how much of my stress came from trying to control everything, how people see me, how things turned out, or how fast that I quote-unquote level up. It taught me the importance of detachment, to let go or else I'd be dragged. And through all of this, the author does a really good job at differentiating the difference between detachment and being dismissive. You're not avoiding or not caring about anything. It's more so prioritizing the things that really matter. I think sometimes in life, many of us can fall under the illusion that happiness comes from adding more, trying harder, to do more, make more money, have more friends, achieve more things. And this book probably is the opposite of many self-help advice in many self-help books. Don't try, give up, be wrong, lower your standards, and stop believing in yourself. But the author does it in a way where it kind of makes sense. True happiness and freedom comes from knowing what to care about, what not to care about, and this book will teach you how to do just that. The next is Anything Robert Greene. There's something so powerful about understanding who we are on a human nature level, because this level of awareness gives us the power to be in control of it rather than let it control us. The laws of human nature reminds me of that saying that your greatest victories doesn't come from defeating others, but from mastering yourself. It reminded me that power isn't about outsmarting people. Sometimes it's about learning how to regulate yourself, not just on an emotional or a mental level, but on a biological, psychological, and human nature level, so that you can intentionally respond in life and to life rather than emotionally or impulsively react. The 48 Laws of Power and The Art of Seduction are two of the more well-known books of Robert Greene, one of which is actually banned in prison because it's believed to be that dangerous. Power and seduction gets such a bad rep, but like money, power and seduction are neither good or bad. They are simply just tools. What you choose to do with it determines whether it's good or bad, and you can choose to use it to better navigate relationships in business, in friendships, or simply to protect yourself from those who do have poor intentions. We have a few videos exploring each of these books on the channel if you're interested. And last but not least, we have Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. There's a ton of really good books on manifesting and all, but nothing to this level where it's broken down on a neurological and scientific level. It is believed to say that we only use 10% of our brain, and quite honestly, we really do underestimate how powerful our minds are. Dr. Joe Dispenza, he shares his story about being in an accident that happened to him, which required him to get this near impossible surgery. Long story short, he said, "No thank you, I'm gonna heal myself with my mind," and that's exactly what he did. It sounds almost gimmicky, but this book explores the biology and the science of manifestation and quite literally becoming supernatural. This is a heavy read, but no book, in my opinion, can come close. What hit me the most is the idea that you're not defined by your past, not your trauma, not your bad habits, not even your own personality. You can literally rewire who you are, how you feel, and what you attract just by changing how you think and feel. For some, it can provide us so much hope, especially when you feel stuck or you just aren't happy where you are. And for me, it just made me realize how much of my day I was was just living on autopilot. It helped me break the habit of who I literally was to become whoever I wanted to be just by focusing on it. And I really hope that it can do the same for you because the possibility is endless. You don't have to read all of these recommendations, but I really hope that you can try to start with the one that speaks to where you are right now. When we think of leveling up, we often immediately think of the physical glow up, but it really starts with the mindset shift and the mental glow up, and there is nothing like reading or even just listening to audiobooks that can help you mentally level up. I'd love to hear any books that change your life, as I could always use a good book recommendation myself. Other than that, that's it for today. Check out our It Girl newsletter to join the conversation. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you in our next episode, and in the meantime, as always, stay hot. Bye!